Hello everyone and welcome to another feature highlight video. Today it's a special one because it's launch week and we are going to be covering a whole host of new features that we have released, helping you get more insights from the data you are collecting in Memfault more easily. So as you all know, Memfault of course helps you collect a lot of useful data from your embedded devices, but there's not much point in collecting that data if you can't make most use of it. We also know that every single one of our customer deployments are slightly different and they collect different data and they value that data in different ways. So to accommodate all of this variability, we have actually done two things. The first thing we've done is we are adding some standardization into the way that we think embedded teams should measure quality and performance of their devices with the release of device vitals. We believe the three device vitals, stability, battery, and connectivity, are the most important measures for embedded development teams to monitor in some combination across all of their devices. And if you want to know more about that, we're talking about it a lot this week, so please take a look at the links in the description to find out more. The second thing we have done is we have made the way you can analyze your data in Memfault more customizable, and we have made it easier to navigate from a top-level insight to a device-level investigation. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So I'm now over here in our overview dashboard, and we're going to be taking a look through some of the new functionality we have added. So the first thing that I want to draw your attention to is the fact that now all of our dashboarding has been consolidated under the dashboards panel. So this means that historically we had an overview dashboard, a device vitals dashboard, and we also had a device sets dashboard that lived under fleet. We've now consolidated all of this dashboarding experience under the dashboard section. This means a couple of things. Firstly, it means that now, as well as creating your own custom dashboards, you can actually edit and customize all of those legacy dashboards as if they were a brand new custom dashboard. This means that any of the charts or cards in here are all completely editable. I can add new charts, remove existing charts, rename them, and change the aggregations and roll-ups for each of these chart types. What I'm going to do now is show you what the new dashboard creation experience looks like, as we've also made some changes there. So I'm going to go over into my all dashboards section now. This is of course where we manage and create all of our dashboards. And I'm going to go and create a new dashboard. Now you can of course just create your own custom dashboard from scratch, but in this case I'm actually going to create a battery tracking dashboard, and I'm going to take advantage of one of our new templated dashboards. Now we have templated dashboards available for our three device vitals, so stability, connectivity, and battery. Today we're going to start off with a battery one. So let's add that and hit create. So as you can see, now we are in our new battery dashboard and we have a couple of pre-populated charts. What I can do is I can of course add my software version filters. So let's say I want to compare my original 1.0 launch version with a couple of my new versions. I can group software versions together here in a comparison set, and that will be grouped when I'm looking at these population views here. You can see I have 1.1.0 and one other version, and the same thing here. And what I can do if I want to is I can save those filters for everyone. I'm going to actually remove this version here, and then I'm going to hit save for everyone. What this does is not only means that every time I come back to this dashboard, the filters will be pre-applied and I don't have to do anything, but it also means that anyone from my team who's looking at my battery tracking dashboard will see exactly the same data as I do, filtered in the same way. What I'm also going to do here is create a new chart. So if I go into create charts, you will see that we have added a whole set of new chart and card types. I'm going to start off by adding one of these software version charts. So previously this was only available within the overview dashboard, but now because you can add any chart to any dashboard, it's also available here. What I'm looking at is also another new feature that we have added, which is the preview for your charts. So with this preview modal, I can be sure that the roll up, and if it's available in the specific card type, the aggregation, I can see what that's going to look like within my dashboard before I commit to building that chart. In this case, I'm going to build a software versions chart because I want to see how many of my devices are on this new version that I'm tracking, the 1.1.0 versus my original launch 1.0.0 version. So I'm going to build this dashboard, this chart, and add it into my dashboard. I can, of course, move it around. So I'm going to go into layout mode, and I just want to put this up in the top right-hand corner here. I'm also going to add another chart. So perhaps in this case, I want to add a stability chart. So let's say I want to pull one of these stability charts in. I can, of course, name this. I'm going to call it stability, and I can scroll through the different visualizations for that data to decide which one is best. So I'm going to go for this stability period visualization. Can add that in there, and then I'm going to add one final chart. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a connectivity sync success rate chart in here as well. So I want to add a sync success rate. I'm going to call this sync success. And I would like to select my visualization. In this case, I want an overtime visualization. You can see here that we can see what this looks like with the filters within my dashboard. I can also see what this would look like with just one of the software versions. But as soon as I hit OK, it will pick up the filters that are applied to the dashboard. So I'm going to hit OK. And we can see that this picked up the filters applied to the dashboard. So I'm seeing my two versions there. Once again, I'm actually going to move this around and just drag it up here. Now, what else can I do here? So the next thing that I would like to show you is how do I go from a top-level insight to a device-level investigation? So I'm looking at my two software versions here, and I, of course, notice a bit of a regression in battery life on my median device and a dramatic regression here in my lower 5th percentile. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to click through on this lower percentile here to see which devices are causing that drop. By clicking through on the chart there, I get a pre-filtered list of all of the devices that are reporting a battery device vital within that predefined range on my percentiles chart. So you can see the range defined here for battery life. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the battery life reported for each of these specific devices. I can then go into one of my devices here and take a look at the timeline. And this is where I'd like to show you another one of our new features. So these timelines can, of course, contain quite a lot of information, and sometimes you need to dig through the timeline a little bit to narrow down your investigation. We've added this really simple way to toggle between different time views within the timeline. So here I've stepped back out to a week. I want to jump back into a day, and maybe I want to jump all the way down into an hour view here. Or if I jump back out again to a day, I can then also step back and forth in the timeline day by day or hour by hour, whatever I have that filter set to, with just a couple of clicks. So this makes just scrolling through the timeline and locking in on what you need much, much easier. With that said, I'm also now going to go and jump into this issue and demonstrate another one of the new enhancements we have made. So I can see on the timeline, I have this hard fault. I've clicked through into this hard fault now, and I'd like to draw your attention to one of the new items here. So, of course, anyone familiar with Memfault will be very familiar with this view. We're looking at a trace of this issue with a full core dump from the device. But the thing I'd like to draw your attention to is in this top section. We have now made it possible to add an attribute in to this top section of your issue view. This allows you to do some really interesting things with correlations between issues and specific device attributes. So in this case, I have a production batch ID as a device attribute. And what I can see really interestingly is that this hard fault is correlated 100% with one specific production batch. Now, of course, that would possibly mean that I actually just have a bad production batch that's causing this issue. And this isn't actually something I've created in my latest release. I can, of course, see the distribution of this also across my software version. So I can see that this hard fault is occurring on a couple of different software versions. But this production batch ID leads me to believe that, in fact, this is a production-related issue. So as you can see here, we've gone from building the dashboard we need, spotting an insight within that dashboard, drilling all the way down into the device level, and then further down into the issue level, and spotted the cause or potential cause of this issue within a few seconds. We, of course, are really excited about this whole set of changes that makes it way easier to make the most value from all of the data you're collecting, see the data in a way that makes sense for you, and then drill all the way down into a device and issue level investigation quickly and efficiently. As always, if you would like any more detail about any of the features that we've overviewed in this video, there's a whole write-up on each one within our technical documentation. Similarly, if you want guidance on how to make the most use of these features or just on getting set up with Memfault in the first place, please reach out to our team and we'd be happy to help. Otherwise, we really hope you enjoyed this feature highlight video. We hope you enjoy the rest of launch week, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you.